Hello and welcome to the Hindu's live coverage of Gautam Adani's charges leveled against Gautam Adani, one of the world's richest men, and also the head of the Adani Enterprises, the retail to renewables conglomerate, Indian conglomerate worth over $200 billion. From what we understand, it's a late Wednesday development in the United States where a court has issued several indictments against Gautam Adani, the founder of the Adani Group, as well as seven of his associates within the group. To understand more on this, firstly, just to understand the document which the court has the order of the court. I'm joined by our legal correspondent, Krishnadas Rajagopal in Delhi, who's gone over this. I'm also joined by Devesh, who has been tracking the criminal charges as well as the political developments, and our business reporter from Bombay, who will be giving us the updates from what's been happening in terms of stocks and prices. The valuation of the entire group has tanked more than $30 billion from the time of this news that emerged early morning India time. So first with Krishnadas, Krishna, if you can first give us an the overview of the order itself and what this largely means to Gautam Adani and his nephew Sagar and several others who've been named in that document.
Thank you, Kunal. So I had a look through the 54-page indictment drawn by the New York District Court, and two factors spring out of the document. It is an October 2024 document. It was prepared last month. So one is that it completely pierces the corporate veil and makes direct and serious criminal allegations against the Adanis, the uncle and nephew, and six of their very senior executives.
Right,
And the
right.
second thing that came out of that indictment, which I felt, in my opinion, was that it also lays bare the root of corruption. It discusses the nuances and the roots and the labyrinthine transactions, the root of the allegations. I mean, because they're all innocent until proven guilty. So it lays bare the root of the corruption and the money offers of around $265 million to the Indian government officials, and this is an offense under the U.S. law, and it attracts the provisions of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. We also have a anti-corruption law, the Prevention of Corruption Act, and which says that corruption is a criminal offense. The indictment also says that the activities, the so-called activities from 2020 to 24, the 4 years, also attracts securities fraud law in India, and as it has done in the US. So this is a possibility that we can look forward to if that charges of securities fraud law and may be attracted in India also, as it has done in the US now. And there are the three counts, basically three counts that the indictment document brings out. One is the conspiracy to bribe Indian officials. So the US court has indicted 8 persons, that is Mr. Adani, his nephew, and 6 of their executives, on conspiring to bribe Indian officials to procure lucrative solar power contracts through a public body called the Solar Energy Corporation of India, which is under the aegis of the Ministry of Renewable Energy. And the
Right.
modus operandi that they have alleged to us that these people bribed officials to rope in state electricity companies to enter into a contract with SECI, that is the Solar Energy Corporation of India,
Corporation of India,
which
which
would,
is a
yeah,
right.
which would distribute the solar energy, which is, I think, the document says 12 gigawatts, sold by the Adani companies at a very fixed rate. So
Okay.
the first count is conspiracy to bribe. Then the second count is the conspiracy to commit fraud on US investors, people who are located investors and potential investors located in the US. So the detail is that to fund this operation of this bribery scheme, these companies, Adani companies, took $2 billion loans. The loans were obtained from international financial institutions and US based assets management companies, and and around 1 billion in securities were sold to investors located in the US. So this is, as the document says, a clear violation of Rule 144A of the Securities Act of 1933. So, and also very damagingly, they claim that they have traced wires, fraud through wires, electronic messages, which passed to and fro between the accused within the U.S. soil. So that places the allegations firmly within the U.S. soil. Then the third count is the obstructions that they tried to, how they tried to obstruct investigations. There were multiple investigations. One was by the grand jury. The grand jury investigation was there. Then the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, was probing the allegations. And then thirdly, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission was also probing the transactions. So basically, the third count is that there was an obstruction. They tried to allegedly obstruct these investigations. Now, and finally, on the final page of this 54-page document is a very, very serious repercussion that they caution about, that is criminal forfeiture. They say that the indictment very seriously cautions that if these people are found guilty, the US government could forfeit any property which they find as proceeds of the crime. So this is basically what the indictment document details, and it's a very detailed document. It traces all the transactions, and it covers, it gives an overview, and also it goes into every detail of all the three counts. And this is a document of October 2024.
Right. Thank you so much, Krishna, for giving that really excellent overview. So indeed, so when you say it's a document of October 2024, firstly, why did the Department of Justice in the United States issue this press release today? Is it, I mean, I understand it's an American court, but is it just that the press release is sort of come much later? And secondly, you mentioned that these several of the in terms of American investors, it would the US can take action from the point of view of the fact that if there is evidence that monies collected from American investors to the tune of 2 billion that you mentioned has been used towards this 265 million as bribe, which is well over 2,100 crore rupees in India. Does it then mean that he could be called upon, or we already know that there are arrest warrants has been issued? Does it mean that through his subsidiaries in the United States, Adani Green Energy particularly, he would stand trial in the United States? And what procedure would that mean in terms of Indian jurisdiction?
I believe as far as the delays are concerned, these might be procedural delays. The indictment document is a public document for all to see. So as far as I know, and seeing the court procedure here and how judgments are published almost in India, it is done almost on a daily basis. Morning the judgment is passed and pronounced, and by evening it is out there in the public domain. So maybe the judgment was out, but then they would have drafted the press release later on. I'm not privy to that. Then, as far as the arrest, I believe there are reports that arrest warrants are out. Whether they stand trial in the US, of course, they would probably. That would mean extradition and standing trial. These may happen we have to wait and see how this, as you said, thick and fast. These things are proceeding. We have to wait and see how things move forward. Kunal?
Thanks give us more perspective, I'm joined by Devesh, whom I introduced earlier as we started the broadcast. Devesh Pandey, does India and the United States have an extradition treaty that would enable uh, any sort of extradition of Gautam Adani or any other seven members who've been indicted by the by this federal court in New York? Also, what would be the procedure to follow, and what are these particular criminal charges that you've been tracking about?
Thank you, Kunal. Given that the international agencies are also saying that arrest warrants are out by New York court, so subsequently for the execution of warrants, there are two options that the U.S. authorities can opt for. First is approaching the Interpol. Interpol, as we all know, that it facilitates all the police cooperation between the member countries. I believe more than 190 countries are members of Interpol. So through Interpol, they can approach the Indian agencies specifically by getting a red notice issued uh, against those persons against whom the arrest warrants have been issued for the execution of the warrant for their detention pending the process of extradition. Now, the extradition is altogether a different process. It is a bilateral arrangement between the countries, and between India and United States. There is an extradition treaty signed in June 1997. So, under this treaty, one of the primary uh, aspects is that the treaty allows for the extradition of a person if the offense is punishable by more than 1 year in prison under the laws of both the countries. So, in this case, if the charges are related to corruption, and since corruption is a punishable offense in both the countries, so U.S. Authorities can request extradition and you follow up with a complaint and application through the Ministry of External Affairs channel. So this way, the U.S. agencies can go for the execution of arrest warrant and subsequent proceedings. Thank you, Kunal.
Yes, thank you so much, Devesh. So, also, have we had any official reaction from the Indian government on these indictments? And of course, there's been a lot of political reaction. So, if you can get us up to speed on both of these.
Yes, there has been a lot of political activity over the issue, and it has triggered sharp reactions from the opposition parties. Although the government is yet to issue any official start, so Congress has basically said that whatever its stand was on the issue of on this issue, they have been vindicated, and further action should be taken against those found involved. And the CPIM has asked for a CBI investigation into that, and it has said that it's a serious issue. The indictment in which serious charges have been made basically. It says that the evidence was collected from the persons involved, and subsequently the courts have proceeded further, and the government cannot hide behind any smoke screen anymore. That's what the CPIM has said, and it has
Right.
further. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
no, I was just going to ask if there have also been political reactions from any BJP alliance members.
Yes, yes.
Yes, if you could, yeah, talk about that too.
The BJP has basically Mr. Amit Malviya from the BJP has said that the document itself, which is being quoted to target the group, that itself is saying that the charges in the indictment are allegations and the defendants are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. And then subsequently he goes on to say that the essence of the charge is that US and Indian companies agreed to supply 12 gigawatt of power to the Solar Energy Corporation of India, and this was subject to SCCI entering into PPA with state electricity distribution companies. There was a collaboration between the Adani Group company with the U.S. renewable energy, that is Azure Power, and the Azure was allotted 4 gigawatt, and Adani Green Energy was allotted 8 megawatt. Since the gigawatt, I'm sorry, since the power was costly, the SDCs were not willing to buy. Therefore, the allegation, as per the allegation, in collusion with Azure Power, paid the equivalent of $260 million to SDCs based in Odisha, that was BJD ruled at that time, Tamil Nadu, uh, Chhattisgarh, and Andhra Pradesh between July 2021 and February 2022. This is what the BJP uh, leader has to say on this issue. Thank you, Kunal.
Right. Thank you so much for that update, Devesh. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more political reactions coming, and it will eventually lead to the government reacting as well, since this is one of India's largest conglomerates, and this is through official channels. There have been a lot of activity in the stock market as well, and our reporter Ashok Mitran, who's tracking all of that from Bombay, is joining us as well. So Ashoka, thanks. You've been sort of already reporting on this from the morning. So if you can, uh, take us through what's been happening, particularly to the listed companies of Adani at the poses, and if there have been any statements made by the group on this issue as well.
Yeah, so they have Adani has 7 companies listed on the stock markets. One is the
Right.
flagship Adani Enterprises. Then there is Adani Energy Solutions, which I think handles the energy business of it. Adani Ports and Special Economic Zones, which handles ports. Adani Power, Adani Green Energy, which is
Which
the
is the
company
company
that's
which is involved in this case?
involved
Yes.
in
Yeah.
this, Adani Total Gas, and Adani Wilmar, which is the FMCG company.
Retail. Right.
Yeah, and all the stocks have fallen more than 10%, and Adani Enterprises, the flagship company, has fallen 23% from morning. They already opened 20% down, and 23% is where it is now, and the stock price is at 2,158 rupees. Previous day's close was 2,821 rupees, which is pretty bad. This already happened. Oh yeah, it's on the screen. I think we can see it on the screen. This is Adani Enterprises, Adani Energy Solutions,
Yes.
the next company.
Yes.
Uh, that has gone down 20% again. Stock stand at 697 rupees. Adani Ports is at 1,115.9 rupees, down 13% from yesterday's close. Adani Power is slightly mild. The fall is slightly mild. It's just 8%. It's around standing at rupees 479 rupees. Adani Green Energy is down 19.4% at rupees 1,138. Adani Total Gas is 600 rupees, which is down 10%, and Adani Wilmar is also down 10% at 294 rupees. In a response, actually, at around 12:30, the
There's
exchanges
also
had asked.
NDTV. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, the at around 12:30, the exchanges had asked Adani for a response to the
Yeah.
U.S. DOJ indictment, and they did give a response saying that they denied it and said this it's a baseless assumption. And interestingly, they referred to a line which says that the people mentioned in the indictment are innocent until proven guilty, which is a procedural statement in most of
Yeah.
the things. So they have referred to that, and they have also clarified themselves that they have maintained the highest of integrity, etc. Markets are about to close, and they've not yet closed. While so it might fall a little more, we don't know. What is also interesting is Adani's latest QIP. was bought by Quant Mutual Fund, SBI Life Insurance, and ICICI Prudential Insurance, and it all and GQG Partners, which is the company that actually bought more. Um, Together, they have a Adani exposure of 70%. These four companies, and Quant Mutual Fund
Right, substantial.
has bought 46% of the qualified institutional placements. No, there have been no
QIPs.
reports regarding how they are going to balance their portfolio or what they are going to do with their portfolio is not yet. There's no responses from any of these mutual funds so far. While they have, Adani has responded and denied. They quickly did cancel their $600 million bond issue in US in response to it. So these are the developments in the stock markets so far.
Right, and it's still sort of early days, if we can say that. And if we remember what happened right after the stock manipulation allegations leveled by the Hindenburg Research, the US-based short seller, the Adani Group in the weeks following that, in early January 2023, lost about $100 billion in stock valuation in that time period. Although it did recoup all of that subsequently in the months following. But this appears to be a much more serious case of fraud and bribery, and especially indictments by a court in the United States. So it actually probably has a bigger bearing on the group itself. So we'll be tracking all these developments here at the Hindu, and I'd like to thank Krishnadas Rajagopal, our legal affairs correspondent, Devesh, who's been tracking the intelligence and political developments, as well as the criminal aspect of things, and Ashok, who's been tracking the markets and its reactions from Bombay. So thank you so much for joining this live coverage on this developing story from the Hindu. If you would like to follow us and read any of our coverage, please do subscribe to our follow our various handles on your favorite social media channels. Thank you.